Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Suzerain. Let us continue on where we last left off, and it is time, unfortunately, to meet with the Duke Reinhardt of Palais, which I think I have been mispronouncing, because I don't remember exactly how you're supposed to say it. I haven't been to Palais in many years. Titus and I stood side by side, peering out the window of Castle Reinhardt. The Grand Duchy's royal residence was built on the foundations of an ancient palacio, one of the stone fortifications that gave Palais its name. After his coronation, Duke Axel Reinhardt has hired an up-and-coming local architect to expand the old building into a swooping, bulging wood and glass structure that seemed almost alive. The reception room had been moved to the top floor and boasted enormous curved windows with a view of the Palais skyline. Its soaring, angular skyscrapers were unlike anything built in Rizia. So this is the Pearl of the Antician. It's amazing what lesbian money can buy, isn't it? Amazing is one word for it, sir. Okay. There's no, don't let the Duke hear this, but there's no doubt in my mind that Palais still falls under the Rizian banner. Their hostile attitude towards unification is nothing short of a crime. An injustice that I hope to see rectified in my lifetime. You and me both, though this matter must be approached with caution. Setting things in motion takes time. Agreed. Haste can lead to mistakes. A panel in the wall slid open, and a secretary clad in a pastel mini dress emerged. She motioned for me to enter. Make yourself comfortable. This might take a while. Will do, sir. The secretary announced my entrance, and I stepped into the room and was greeted by Duke Reinhardt. The Palasian ruler was tall and square-jawed, with looks out of an adventure serial. I recall that the tabloids had nicknamed him Duke Dashing. I maintained eye contact as he bowed to me. Your Majesty, a pleasure to finally meet you. You know what, I only wish it was under better circumstances, Your Grace. As do I. The secretary left, closing the door behind her, and the Duke and I took seats on opposite sides of the wooden conference table. His posture was casual, even as he regarded me with intensity. I'll be honest with you, Your Majesty. I never expected my brother to abdicate. I was perfectly happy living a life of leisure, coasting off of family fortune, enjoying the odd celebrity rendezvous. Yeah, you didn't have to take his place. Oh, but I did. Somebody had to step up to protect the Grand Duchy. He sighed and slid a report across the table towards me. My security minister woke me up at midnight with this. I was assured that the Palaces had every right to begin drilling in the Arias gas field, and now our ship finds itself within a standoff with the Rizian Navy. Tell me, Your Majesty, what is the meaning of this? Why did you send your ship to begin with? Why not notify my government? You may have not shown hostility towards Palais, Your Majesty, but many in your government have. Sending that ship was our way of asserting Palasian sovereignty. What sovereignty? I mean, again, we don't want to only exist because of lesbian support. You know what, please, Your Grace. Let's not let the bad blood between our families color our present relationship. And I am prepared to reconcile as long as you recognize that the gas field belongs to Palais alone. I saw intensity in his eyes. You know, Your Majesty, we Reinhardts have ruled Palais for as long as the Torases have ruled Rizia. Yes, Palais is part of the Valagos Empire, but we've developed our own laws and customs, even our own language. When the Empire fell apart, what were we supposed to do? Simply give up everything that we had built? You know, it could have kept its cultural identity intact if it had rejoined Rizia. Your father would never have allowed that, and your nationalist tendencies make me think you wouldn't either. Lesbia, on the other hand, was way more willing to support our independence. They support your independence by making you dependent on them. They support your independence by making you dependent on them. By making us wealthy. By giving us the capacity to defend ourselves against aggressors like you. Okay. Have you met your new prime minister? Do you trust him? Isn't he? He's a drunk, isn't he? I understand why Palis has accepted Lespia's aid, but now that Morella is in league with Voxland, could get caught between superpowers. His gaze hardened as he looked at me. Not as long as we have a bargaining chip. And we do, right at the bottom of the Anticean. So you see, Your Majesty, we can't let Rizia take it from us, not without a fight. I won't see the gas field for nothing. You're not the only country with obligations, and the gas field is large enough for us to split. Sharing a gas field requires close collaboration. You'll excuse me if I don't feel like collaborating with Rizia right now. You don't have to collaborate. Just stay on our respective sides. There's too much potential for disagreement, which Rizia has already proved itself incapable of handling. Before we continue this conversation, I must insist that you withdraw your navy. We could recall the fleet. Is it a sign of weakness? Is it a sign of weakness in giving in? That is the $1 million question. Thing is, You know what? Absolutely not. My ships are staying right where they are. Duke Reinhardt paled. He swallowed before speaking. That's it then. I see no other choice but to call in the AN for arbitration. I mean, great. They'll easily rule that Pele has acted in direct violation of the AN Directive of Offshore Resources, a directive we never ratified. So I mean, you want to call the AN into this for to enforce to enforce something that you never even signed. And even if it applies, Andor is not black and white, it's very nuanced. It's only nuanced compared to its predecessors. We as part of the international community. The rules over our maritime borders seem clear to me and to my counselors as well. Let's see if the AN sees it that way. Remember, we have the backing of Lesbia, which has the backing of Acacia, and we both know how much sway the latter has over the AN. You shouldn't place too much trust in them. You shouldn't place too much trust in Lesbia, Your Grace. And you should not underestimate them, or us. He reached under his desk and pressed the intercom button. Hilda, be a doll and help show His Majesty the way out of the building. Wouldn't want him getting lost. He sat back in the chair and scrutinized me closely. You do understand that as long as your navy is in our waters, we are obligated to send our ships to join yours. Well, I'm sorry that it has come to this, Your Grace. This entirely avoidable situation? Yeah, I'm sorry as well. I truly hope that we can come to a peaceful resolution through the Alliance of Nations. For your sake, mostly. Duke Reinhardt, Secretary, opened a door. He stood up and gestured for me to do the same. I'll see you in court, King Romus. Goodbye, Your Grace. I rejoined Titus in the reception room. We followed Hilda through a winding corridor to the front door. We stepped outside into the waning sunlight. He waited until we were out of the building's shadow to speak. How'd it go, Your Majesty? He is a snake. The Duke is a snake, but I can still get the upper hand on him. Titus nodded wordlessly. We got into the car and began a long trip back to Port Drizon. You think I trust? He's just like he's just an asshole, you know? CSP deploys medium-range missiles in Son Samia base. The strategic calculus of East Rika is undergoing a significant transformation as the CSP installs medium-range missiles in its San Samia base. Amid whispers about potential nuclear capabilities in high-stakes exchange, San Samia has sanctioned the establishment of its military stronghold in exchange for a lucrative financial aid package dominated in billions of its national currency. This assertive military move by the CSP has stirred a pot of regional geopolitics, inciting concerns among neighboring nations and international observers about the burgeoning arms race and the implications for the delicate peace in the region. Okay. Call with the Prime Minister. To call Lesbia. Well, first, let's attend the House session. Risen People Party leader Manus Sazon has invited the King to attend a session of the House of Delegates. He has laid a proposal that He's slated to propose what he calls a landmark proposal regarding the rights of workers in the kingdom. Sure, I will attend. I see no reason not to. And what is going on? A call with Prime Minister Alvarez. It has been a week since my meeting with Duke Reinhardt and Palace. The Alliance of Nations had accepted a request to arbitrate ownership of the Reyes gas field. Preliminary hearings will begin soon. In the meantime, Lesbian Prime Minister Patricio Alvarez has contacted Lorento, asking to speak with me. I was spending the week at my palace in Monkeys. Lorento visited to brief me ahead of the phone call. He stepped into my front desk and bowed. Good afternoon, Your Majesty. Okay, it's no time for small talk. Prime Minister Alvarez will be calling soon. Very well. What do you want to know about him? Is he trustworthy? Considering the only reason he entered politics was to avoid going to jail, no charge has successfully been levied against him, but in my opinion, he can only be trusted to protect his own best interest. I've heard he's an alcoholic. Rare is the world leader who doesn't enjoy a little drink on the job, or a big one. But no, Alvarez has apparently acknowledged his problems and is entering a rehabilitation program. He's as sober as an archpriestess now. I mean, that's not true. I can guarantee that's not the case. What do you think he's calling? Well, he can't be happy that AN arbitration is delaying Lespia's access to the Arroyos gas field. His country energy demands have skyrocketed since joining the ATO, and I've heard rumors of massive new infrastructure investments. Naturally, involving the Prime Minister's own construction company, Alvarez Industries. And there's a matter of our shared interest in the Meftian International Trade Zone. He must also be aware of Morella's nationalization intentions. Did my father ever talk to him? No. His Majesty of Valero died mere months after Alvarez won the 1949 election. He must have sent his obligatory congratulations. In private, though, he referred to the young man as the Viper in a diaper. And that'll be all. I'm ready for my phone call. Very well, Your Majesty. I'll meet you afterwards for a debriefing. An assistant brought in a blue telephone that was used for calls with heads of state. At 3:01 p.m., it rang. Good afternoon, King Romus. This is Patricio Alvarez. Okay. Well, this is His Majesty, Romus Toras, ruler of Rizia, commander of the Royal Rizian Armed Forces, Duke of Velicrez, and protector of the Resnid Empire. Quite a mouthful. May your reign be as long as your titles. You must have some idea why I'm calling. I'm something to do with the gas deal, I assume. Your assumption is correct. I heard him sigh on the other end of the line. Here I am, about to land a gas deal of a lifetime. And then my business partner calls me and up and tells me we have to wait for AN arbitration. I'm only observing protocol, Mr. Alvarez. You would do the same if I lay claim to one of Lespia's resources. It isn't your resource, Your Majesty. My legal counsel has a crystal clear case for Palasian ownership of the gas field. You can talk about Andor rules all you want, but in the end, it's going to come down to your word versus ours. What do you mean, our word? We have, like, charts and documents and measuring tapes? Who do you think has more sway in the Alliance of Nations? Okay. Yeah, you're bluffing. AN has no choice but to side with Rizia. You sure about that? 100% absolutely sure. Because you aren't. Because if you aren't, I have a proposition for you. No promises, but you know what? I'm listening. I've been following the situation, Ziel. It seems to me like you could use help in this debacle. Thanks, but I have everything under control. So, President Smolak has promised to return Ziel as scheduled, despite the recent incidents? Well, yes. Yes, he has. And you believed him. He's a slippery man, Smolak. You won't get your territory back unless you tighten your grip on him. Are you offering to intervene, Mr. Prime Minister? I know how you're going to treat Sorlin in a couple of years. Of course, Lesbia can't do that. But we can provide some assistance on the sidelines. By speaking up on your behalf at the upcoming AN session, for example. Unfortunately, Rizia needs natural gas more than it needs help with Valant. What about both, then? See the Arrayas field to Peles, and in addition to your assistance that I just promised, I will send you 1/4 of the exploration rights. And less power will take over whatever infrastructure costs are necessary to bring that gas from Arrayas to Rizia's doorstep. You want to be bargaining if you thought you had an airtight case. I'm trying to make sure we both get something out of this, Your Majesty. A certain social club I'm in has taught me the importance of service to others. You're not the boogeyman my counselors made you out to be. No, but you don't have to like me. All you've got to do is say yes. We're on the same side here. And don't forget about our partnership in the MITZ. You're worried about someone trying to steal your resources away? You should look no further than your neighbor, Miss Sultana. Getting up on her high horse, spouting made-up concerns about pollution and human rights just because she has Vaxland in her corner? You know what? That's an entirely different topic. We're talking about the gas field. Resources are resources. And perhaps Rizia's time and energies are better spent protecting what you already have instead of going over something that you don't. So, how do you feel about a partnership? Absolutely not. You know what? Even if I were interested, I can't afford the gas offer. If arbitration is my only chance at a piece of Arias, I'll have to take it. Fair enough, Your Majesty. I'll see you in Kairut. I'll see you in hell. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Prime Minister. We said our goodbyes and hung up. I sat there for a while, wondering what I'd gotten myself into. Were Duke Reinhardt and Prime Minister of Alaves right? Was I doomed to lose this battle? No! Absolutely not! And if we do, I will buy more tanks. So don't worry about that too much. Following our refusal to withdraw the Rizian Navy from the borders of the glorious gas field, Duke Reinhardt has sent an equal number of Palasian naval reinforcements to patrol the vicinity. Our deployed officers warn of potential escalation. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen! It's not going to happen. Right? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Oh, there's a lot of news, though. As a response to the Grand Duchy of Palace's audacious attempt to claim the newly discovered Arias gas field without our kingdom's agreement, a number of ships from the Rizian Royal Navy have been deployed to surround the field and defend Rizia's sovereign right to the resources. This move has garnered significant support from Rizians nationwide and serves as a firm commitment to our country's interest and regional stability. The decision, announced by His Majesty King Romus, has offered a clear signal to Peleus about Rizia's determination to defend its territorial rights. Yet the blockade is seen as a provocative measure, ensuring Rizia's interest, while ownership is being disputed. And all eyes on South Merkopa at upcoming AN session. The Alliance of Nations will dedicate a full day to South Merkopa in this upcoming session, signaling the region's growing importance on this global stage. With its vast resources, gold, oil, and gas, South Merkopa has attracted significant geopolitical and economic interest. The session, scheduled for later this month, provides a platform for dialogue as tensions persist among Rizia, Valand, Palace, Lesbia, Morella, and Duridia. Alliance President Nines is expected to focus on mediating disputes and fostering multilateral cooperation to address the challenges and opportunities facing the region. A potentially violent gas dispute is brewing between the nations of Rizia and Palace. As the Grand Duchy staked a claim on Arroyas, a large undersea natural gas field located roughly between the two countries, the Rizian government opted for a military response, sending naval reinforcements to block the field before Palaesians could even begin exploratory drilling. It is obviously seen as a no-love loss between the Kingdom of Rizia and the Grand Duchy of Palace, since the former's failed campaign to retake the latter by military force some 30 years ago. We fear it does not take much to rekindle old tensions. Expect further updates as the situation develops. And the Organization of Merkopan Economic Development has released a report revealing a 3.5% decline in trade volume across Eastern Merkopa. Originally forecasting a 4% growth, OMEX revised figures highlight the impact of disrupted trade lines and ongoing geopolitical instability. East Merkopa's economic integration rate has slowed to 1.2%, a significant drop from last year's 2.5%. The report reflects the mounting difficulties in facing by regional economies as they contend with uncertainty and shifting trade alliances in rapidly challenging landscapes. Marquesi extends aid to impoverished free cities. Responding to a plea from Divine Speaker Andre, Marquesi embarked on a foreign aid mission to the economically beleaguered Holy Federation of Free Cities, earmarking substantial resources for food security and industrial aid. The move, which has seen the provision of critical textile machinery, is a calculated attempt to alleviate the Federation's economic distress while subtly countering the influence of neighboring powers Duridia and Morella. Marquesi's assistance is poised to not only address immediate humanitarian needs, but also to forge strategic ally in a region fraught with economic uncertainty and political maneuvering. And what I'm not uncertain about is that this is going to be the end of the episode here, so if you have enjoyed, thumbs up. Now, do we can always thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.